This is it, the end of SEO. Okay, I mean, yeah, I understand the hysteria around this topic, right? With everything that has changed in SEO. But in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how we can actually get ahead of our competitors in Google's AI mode. Let's get started talking about AI mode and then go into the strategies that you need to get your business into that search engine, which is not really a search engine now. It's just a result of text, which we'll see now. Let's get into it. So there is a lot of hysteria about SEO being dead. Every single day, every single month, people are saying SEO is dead. It's not dead, it's just changing. This is not the end of SEO, but let's have a look at what Google AI mode is, right? Really what it is, the crux of it is that it's similar to ChatGPT. So you can see here the text comes down and then you have this like a little box here where you can keep asking questions and refining your answer. I'm sure you've used ChatGPT and it is just so much easier if you want something specific, right? There's some times where you just think, yeah, I need ChatGPT to answer me this question. By the way, later on in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to use an AI SEO writer, and this will be included in one of the strategies on how to actually get your website onto this Google AI mode, right? So there's a PDF here. I'll also link this down in the description if you want to read more about Google AI mode, how you can get yourself in there, where they're getting the information from. At the moment, it is kind of just based off the search engine results page that they already have a Google algorithm, right? They're not going to change it that much for this, but it's all experimental at the moment. They're testing, seeing what people are doing with it and seeing if it can get the right answers, because like AI overviews, there was lots of mistakes at the beginning, but so they don't want that. They want to do this, roll this out slowly, so to make sure that it's correct and they get the right information out to their users. So one thing that's quite interesting is that, yeah, it's multimodal. You will want to be publishing images and videos as well as part of your SEO strategy. And what it says down here is that it won't be there for every single search. It will depend on, if it's needed or not, basically. I think that's a smart play, because sometimes, if you just ask what is the capital of Denmark, you just need a one-word answer. You don't need to trigger this reasoning and ask follow-up questions. Often you're just looking for that quick, simple answer, which Google is obviously, that's their main business. But then sometimes there's a topic where it's like, oh, I need to go further down into that. Like, let's say if you're doing a coding problem or something and you want to know, then you're like, oh, maybe I need to use this in a different language. How do I do that? Or something a bit more in-depth like that. This is also quite interesting about the opinionated responses. So they designed it based on what's available from a wide range of sources across the web. This is a super important concept in SEO called consensus. What Google does is it ranks things based on, if this website says it's true, if this website says it's true, and this one, then they'll go, okay, this is probably the truth. Okay, so one thing you need to do is look at what's ranking in Google right now and say, okay, this website is saying the color of the car is black. Then we also need to say the color of the car is black. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes, because you're like, well, I think this is true, and what's written on Google now is wrong, but I guess that's the era that we're in. That is consensus, right? We'll have another strategy on how to get around this in a minute too, though. Okay, so to actually get it, you can go to this page here. It's labs.google.com, and you can find this Ask Anything with AI mode and just turn it on here. So search whatever's on your mind. Okay, so it does look a bit more like ChatGPT, right? It has the answer there, and then we have our follow-up question. Basically, it's just you're interacting more with the chatbot rather than asking one question and trying to find an answer quick. So let's test it out now. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, it looks very similar to ChatGPT, right? This is exactly the same kind of idea, right? You've got your little bar here to ask your questions, and then you even have little prompts, right? So how do migrating birds know where to go? Let's just see what will be the most popular spring break destinations this year. Okay, so now it's actually going through and trying to find the answer and then giving you an answer. So it is very similar to ChatGPT search now, with the sources on the right here, and reading from left to right, you can find out what it is. Okay, Florida, Las Vegas. So what we really want to know is, yeah, how are websites going to appear more and more in this? Really, you've got to be thinking about having your own product, getting your own product in here, right? In this case, it's information. It's very hard to rank information now, but you can see there's websites here. It's quite interesting, to be honest, to me, that these websites are here. You can see them all here and look at them all. Usually what's happening here more and more and more is high authority websites. So let's get more into detail about some strategies on how to get into AI mode. But before we do that, let's actually look at something most important factors in SEO. Let's look at another one to see how it works. It thinks about the query, searches for the results. So yeah, we've got some big websites in SEO, Backlinko and Monster Insights. So it has searched 21 websites. I think that's going to be a bit of the problem. You can see the link here. This is going to be really, really hard to get your website in here into the information, right? People are just reading the information here. It doesn't mean that information is dead, right? If you control the information that's coming in here, like this website here is controlling it because it's giving the information and then it's saying, yeah, it came from here, these pages here. So what you can do with that is, if you say best cafe in London, right, you want to be getting your information in there that your cafe is the best cafe. You'll try to find these websites here and say, well, okay, how do we get our information in here? Is it TripAdvisor, for example? Probably. So actually, no, for these local searches, they're actually using Google, which is quite interesting. But you can see here what they have in their information and their metadata, rated best cafe in London, right? So you can see that it's like, it still helps. They're trying to get that information. They're adding that as their title, rated best cafe in London. And now when I search that information, right, I didn't get it the first time for some reason. All I typed in was best cafe in London, and now they're coming up as one of the answers, right? So they've forced their way in here. This Drury 1888189 is, yeah, because they've said it on their website. So you have to be thinking about what people are searching for and add that to your website. Okay, so now we'll go through my different strategies for actually getting in here. That first one was, yeah, first one is just get the keywords there, right? Think about the keywords your customers are thinking about and typing in here, right? Here's a good example of one, best headphones for $50. That's a type of SEO keyword that, because people search that, right? It's like if you're thinking about, I want a good pair of headphones, I only have $50, I want the best ones, right? So let's have a look here to do strategy number one, to think about why these websites are ranking. So the first thing to think about, look at this, 3 different results from the same website. So what is going on here, and you will find this over and over again, is high authority websites, right? I don't even need to check this. I already know that this has tons of pages. It's got tons of backlinks, right? There's a lot of information. You can't just start a website tomorrow and say the 6 best earbuds under $50. You can try, but you're not going to outrank this. Your website is not going to appear here. Why? Because of high authority. So you need a lot of backlinks to get this type of authority, right? In Google, there's other things. You have to have a high level quality content, high level quality of content, and prove that you give the best ratings, right? So in this case, it's ratings, right? So how do you do that? It takes a long time, right? So this slow game is trying to get your website to be high authority, right? That is a slow game. There's other ways of doing it, and that is using other websites that already have high authority and publishing it on their websites. Okay, so that is a strategy called parasite SEO, right? I have another video that I just released last week on this, giving you some of the best of these high authority websites that you can publish on, right? I'll give you way more sites because I'm testing tons more. So subscribe to this channel and put the notification bars on so that you can watch that video. One of the things that I expect to appear more and more here is YouTube, right? Because YouTube, once they understand the videos from YouTube, Google owns YouTube. Where do they want you to go? They don't really want you to look at this website. They want you to look at YouTube and then make more money, right? Because as you can see here, there's no ads in here. There's no ads at all. How are Google making money from this? They're not really. So there's going to be ads either here, or somehow there's going to be some sort of referral ads. But for the time being, they're going to put YouTube here because, yeah, that's what they're going to do, because they're going to make tons of money. They already do it. If you check anything on Google now, YouTube is first. The second strategy you need to think about is your brand message. I call this kind of like, or key phrase. It's like something that you have to say over and over again so that it just understands. The AI is looking for information. It's going out trying to find information. In this case, you have this phrase, let's say, the best earbuds for under $50 are JBL or something like that, whatever your brand is. You want to publish that as many times. You want to keep telling until the AI, until it's blue in the face, that you're just like, this is the truth, this is the truth, this is the truth, and you just want it over and over again. And that's why you need to like craft your key phrase. So make sure that you have the right key phrase that for your business, right? This is just one example, but you also want to have an overall brand message. So for example, in my business, let's say it's like Connor's SEO tips is like, Connor's SEO tips is the best YouTube channel to learn SEO. So if people are searching for a YouTube channel to learn SEO, then they'll come to my channel, right? So you just need to think about what your searcher, what your customer, what your ideal customer is thinking about when they're trying to find you, right? And then you repeat that over and over again. So the way that you do that is with content, right? So I use this tool called Arvo, right? It's really good because it's got AI SEO writing and it auto publishes to your website. So you can use the code Connor10, CONO or 10 to get an extra 10% discount. So all you need to do is set up an automation. So to do that, you go into your blog automation here, start a new campaign, and just publish as much as you can with your key phrase in there. So the good thing about this is you can actually get full articles, right? So it's all done for you. You save the information about your business before you set it up, and then it adds images. At this point, it's not going to show images and video. Well, it does have tabs here, but I mean, I think it'll be more and more images and videos like the way ChatGPT does. It adds images here. There's shopping here. That's what ChatGPT is also adding this week. So there's going to be shopping and images there, and then videos down the bottom, right? So I think that is super important as well. So that's why you can use this tool, right, to actually get a full article, right, just done. Just spend more time thinking about the key phrase, right? And then this does all the work for you. So you just post your integration, and then boom, it's published to your website, and you've got another chance of appearing in one of these Google searches, right? The next important factor is what Google call EEAT, right? So it's experience, expertise, authoritiveness, and trustworthiness. So you have to think about how to get all these things. This website has obviously done a very good job of it because it's got three results here already, and you can think for me it's all about the high authority here in this case in these early days, right? But they obviously show expertise that they've experienced. They're obviously showing Google that they're actually testing these products out. They're also showing that they're trustworthy website and that they have authority, right? This is all about the high authority we're talking about earlier. It's if you're a smaller website, this is more about, showing who you are, right? So I think YouTube again is a good source of like combining this like blog tool writing, AI SEO writing, and using YouTube to show who you are. Is like, this is me, I'm Connor, I give SEO tips, right? So how can you do that on your website? Well, there's just tons of ways. You can show your address, right? Your phone number, all of this stuff Google is looking for, right? To see that you're a real business, that it's not some sort of scam that's been set up, one day and then it's gone the next. Think about that. How can you make your website more trustworthy? So the next point is all about video and images, right? I think that's going to be super important because at the moment ChatGPT's images are kind of bad, to be honest. They're not really relevant, I've noticed. So this is something that's going to improve and improve. But what I'm seeing, I publish a lot of videos, is that tons of them are coming from different places now, not just YouTube. I publish on YouTube, but like sometimes 50, 60, 70% of my views are not coming from YouTube, they're coming from Google. And I have some old YouTube channels that I've published a long time ago, and they're just increasing in traffic all of the time. I haven't touched those videos. I made them about 5 years ago, and they're going up and up and up. These videos, this channel is growing and growing. And why is that? Well, it's because they're appearing on Google for the phrases or the things that people are searching for. I don't expect that to change. I expect that's the way we're going, right? Because if you think about it, you have the high authority, right? You have the EAT, right? It's more difficult to just like say, I'm presenting a scam on YouTube. It kind of gets shut down a lot faster than if it's a website, right? It's easier to shut down. Sometimes I guess they have AI checkers, right, to check that something is trustworthy, right? So that's what they want. They don't want scams, obviously. So That is super important. Video and images. Spend a little bit of time on it. I think that will improve your trustworthiness as well. And the last point I have, the last strategy here is called surface area. How the whole internet works is, all these different websites, all these different platforms. So what you want to do, it's a little bit similar to the brand message. Your brand message, you need to try to craft that message and repeat it. But don't just repeat it on your website. Repeat it on as many websites as you can possibly get it. Cover the whole web so that, like I said before, it's like coming up with 3 different websites, and your website is ranked as the best cafe in London on every single one of them. Then it's going to say, well, yeah, I think this cafe is the best cafe in London because I've been told so many times. So you just keep doing that. You keep publishing on high authority websites like Reddit, Quora, Facebook, Instagram, all of these places, Medium, LinkedIn. Just get your stuff, get your story out there as much as possible. Okay, so these are my strategies for ranking on Google AI mode. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to keep on going with this topic because it's super important. The changes are here. SEO is not dead. It's just changed utterly. It's utterly changed. So if you want to know how to use AI agents for SEO because technology is changing so fast, then watch this video here.